Walt Disney died over 60 years ago. In fact, practically 62 years to the day this video is released. The American entrepreneur has gone down in history as being the creator of movie magic and wondrous theme parks. But was he as fantastic as history remembers him? Amid the Illuminati and the freezing rumours, what would we uncover if he was brought back to life today? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that loves a good what if and an interesting historical figure. Hopefully at the same time. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm asking, what if Walt Disney came back to life? Before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys what your favourite Disney movie is. I change my answer to this all of the time, but right now I'm going to go with Dumbo. While you're down there leaving us a comment, why don't you like this video and share it with a friend? Thanks! Also, thank you once again for 1 million subscribers. We love you. Okay, so let's say all of those rumours that Walt Disney was frozen were true. Has he decided that 2019 was the year that he wanted to be woken up and out he pops? Well, I mean, it would basically be like a scene from Austin Powers, right? He died in the middle of the swingin' 60s when the Beatles were still at their height, humanity was trying to make it to the moon, activism was cute and noble, free love was in season, and racial tensions were high. People didn't know that smoking was bad for them, nobody had ever heard of YouTube or Snapchat, and women were treated pretty poorly in the workplace. Suffice to say, Disney would be waking up in a very different time, which would be confusing for all of us and him alike. First and foremost, things would be actually pretty sad for Disney. His wife Lillian died in 1997, his adopted daughter Sharon died in 1993, and his eldest daughter Diane died in 2013. He could meet his 13 grandkids though, and some great-grandkids. It would be kinda weird for them though, I guess. I guess what would be weird would be how the world would deal with it. Not only would this be the first time a human was successfully thawed and brought back to life, but we would also have to accept that actually this person is living history. Things aren't like they were when Walt was alive. Time and people have moved on, so with that in mind, we might not like the Disney we meet. He was famously against facial hair, a heavy smoker, and somewhat disparaging of women in the workplace. Indeed, he used to reject women from creative work and would not allow them into training schools. They were only allowed to paint and ink under the direction of men. He may be shocked to see how things have changed. I for one would love to know his thoughts on the movie Frozen, a departure from the helpless female princess narrative he so often perpetuated, and also the first Disney movie directed by a woman. Hopefully he would be heartened by the change and embrace it. If not, I feel like he would disappoint many people. After Disney's death, he was accused of being a member of the Illuminati and also a Nazi sympathizer. I'm certain that people would heavily question him on these issues. I would be interested to hear what he had to say, and so would the rest of the world. Far less important on the list of priorities, but I would want to ask Disney what his beef with beards was about. I mean, I wonder what he has to say on the man bun issue. I wonder how he would feel being younger than Paul McCartney. Oh, and we could ask him what the whole last words being Kurt Russell thing was all about. Kurt, of course, is now also older than Walt. If Disney were brought back to life, I wonder what he would think to Pixar and the more animated side of things. We've moved on from cartoons, and I honestly think he would find that great. He would probably be really impressed at the progression. If he decided that he wanted to make another movie, it would legitimately be the biggest movie in the world ever. Everyone would want to see what Walt Disney had up his sleeve after all of that time chilling on ice. His room above the fire station at Disneyland California would be reinstated, and I wonder what he would think to the rest of Disney theme parks. After visiting California, the only one he ever saw built, and after checking out all of his favourite rides and seeing how they've progressed and passing judgments on the new ones, after all of that, I imagine he would embark on a world tour to visit the other locations that have been built following on from California's legacy. He would be mobbed by fans as once again he becomes the most famous person in the world. Also, if Disney were to be brought back, he would be rich beyond his wildest dreams. The Walt Disney Company makes billions each year. He would meet with Chair Uday Shankar and discuss what his revival means legally and financially. Fiscal. A final thought, but arguably the biggest. If Disney was brought back to life, it would mean an incredible monumental moment for science. Not only would it mean that we can successfully freeze and revive people, but it would also mean that presumably we could cure lung cancer. Yes, Cancer. Walt Disney had it, so presumably if he was thawed or brought back, then we could cure it, if not his revival would be short-lived. I'll leave you guys on that rather huge thought because it has opened up the doors to many other bigger questions. So there we have it. What do you guys think would happen if Walt Disney was brought back to life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, don't forget to let me know what your favourite Disney movie is and what you think to all of these live-action animation remakes. Also, that'd be a good question for Disney. Like, mate, what do you think to Emma Watson as Belle? So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next one, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.